Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will cover the topic of alpha thalassemia. Alpha thalassemia is basically a type of thalassemia. Thalassemia is basically of two types, alpha thalassemia and beta thalassemia. Thalassemia is actually a quantitative defect in the hemoglobin chains, and this quantitative defect can lead to hemolytic anemia, and it is a cause of intrinsic or intracorpuscular hemolytic anemia. Okay, alpha thalassemia is actually a genetic disorder, and it occurs basically due to defect in the synthesis of alpha globin chains of the hemoglobin. We know that hemoglobin is made up of 4 globin chains, and these 4 globin chains are bounded to a heme group. Now, there are 4 types of globin chains. We have alpha chains, beta chains, gamma chains, and delta chains. These 4 types of globin chains combine with one another in different ways, and they give rise to different types of hemoglobins. For example, we have hemoglobin F, which is also known as fetal hemoglobin, in which there are 2 alpha chains and 2 gamma chains. Then there is hemoglobin A, which is 97% of the adult hemoglobin, and it contains 2 alpha chains and 2 beta chains. Then we have hemoglobin A2, and it contains 2 alpha chains and 2 delta chains. Okay, alpha chain synthesis is controlled by 4 alpha genes, and these alpha genes are present on chromosome number 11. 2 genes are present on each chromosome. 2 genes are present on maternal chromosomes and 2 genes are present on paternal chromosome. Here we can see these are the alpha genes, alpha 1, alpha 2 on maternal chromosome, and alpha 1, alpha 2 on paternal chromosome. So basically we have 4 alpha genes, and mutations or deletions on these genes can lead to alpha thalassemia. Alpha thalassemia is caused by mutations in the alpha genes, most commonly a gene deletion. And alpha thalassemia is autosomal recessive disease. It transmits in autosomal recessive pattern. Now, we know that we have 4 alpha genes. If there is defect in one alpha gene, then the person is said to be a silent carrier. The person will be having no signs and symptoms, but he can pass the defect to his offsprings. Next, if 2 alpha genes are defective, now these 2 alpha genes these 2 alpha genes are deleted. There may be trans deletion or there may be cis deletion. Cis deletion means that 2 genes are deleted from the same chromosome, and trans deletion means that one gene is deleted from maternal chromosome and the second one is deleted from paternal chromosome. So such a person who have 2 alpha genes, who has 2 alpha genes deleted, then he will be having mild symptoms. Then we have 3 alpha genes defective. It means 3 alpha genes are deleted. Such a person will be having moderate disease. Now such a person will be deficient in alpha chains. Alpha chains of hemoglobin are not present, so beta chains combine with one another and it results in the formation of tetramers called beta 4 tetramers called HBH. Now this HBH, which is formed, has high affinity for oxygen. As it has high affinity for oxygen, there is decreased oxygen delivery to the tissues, so it causes hypoxia. And when there is hypoxia, there is hemolysis of the red blood cells. Okay, now a person is having hemolysis. There is intravascular hemolysis as well as there is extravascular hemolysis. So signals will go to the bone marrow and there will be bone marrow expansion. At the same time, there is also extramedullary erythropoiesis. For example, in addition to bone marrow, erythropoiesis will also start to take place in the liver and spleen. So the person will suffer from hepatosplenomegaly. Next, we have a person who has 4 gene deletions. It means 4 alpha genes are deleted. These occur in a condition called HB Bart's hydrops fetalis. Now this is basically a disease of a fetus. We know that in the fetus we have fetal hemoglobin or HbF, and in fetal hemoglobin we have 2 alpha chains and 2 gamma chains. Now alpha chains are not present because of deletions of the alpha gene. So gamma chains are present. These gamma chains combine in one another and it results in the formation of gamma 4 tetramers, same as beta 4 tetramers which were formed in HbH. Now this type of hemoglobin in which 4 gamma chains are present is known as hemoglobin Bart or Bart's hemoglobin. It has high affinity for oxygen and it results in hypoxia of the tissues. When there is hypoxia of the tissues, it may lead to cardiac failure or it may lead to hepatosplenomegaly, because there will be extramedullary erythropoiesis, and there will be because of heart failure, because of damage to the liver, there will be edema all over the body. So it is known as hydrops fetalis, and such children are incompatible with life. Either there is intrauterine death or there will be death immediately after delivery. Now, what are the symptoms of the disease? If a person is suffering from minor or moderate alpha thalassemia, then mostly signs and symptoms are related to anemia. There will be pallor, there will be shortness of breath, easy fatigability, skeletal deformity. Skeletal deformity basically occurs because there is bone marrow expansion, red bone marrow expansion, or there may be secondary bone formation. So there is skeletal deformity, and there is hepatosplenomegaly because there is extramedullary hematopoiesis. Now, how we can diagnose a person who is suffering from alpha thalassemia? We will perform blood tests. In blood tests, we will see that there is decrease in the hemoglobin level. When there is decreased hemoglobin level, it means there is decreased hemoglobin inside the red blood cells. So red blood cells will be small in size. So there is decrease in the mean corpuscular volume. And as there is decrease in hemoglobin in the red blood cells, so there is decreased mean corpuscular hemoglobin. We have already discussed these terms in our introductory lecture. Then blood smear. We will perform the blood smear. In blood smear, we will see that there are microcytic hypochromic red blood cells. Microcytic because they are not properly filled with hemoglobin and they are small in size. Hypochromic because also because they are not filled with hemoglobin and they have light color. Then there will be target cells. Target cells are actually red blood cells which have a dark boundary, and they have central dark area because of the presence of cytoplasm, concentration of cytoplasm in the center. So there will be target cells, and there will be Gough ball like red blood cells due to the precipitation of hemoglobin H. Then we will perform hemoglobin electrophoresis to confirm our diagnosis. This is the electrophoresis test, in which this is a normal person and this is a person who is suffering from alpha thalassemia. We can see that in the person who is suffering from alpha thalassemia, there is decrease in hemoglobin A. Hemoglobin A is decreased and hemoglobin H is present, which is produced by the beta globin chains. Tetramers of beta globin chains are formed and the hemoglobin is called hemoglobin H. So in a person of alpha thalassemia, hemoglobin H is present. Now, for the detection of hydrops fetalis, we will perform genetic testing and amniocentesis. Now, how we can treat the person suffering from alpha thalassemia? In case of mild disease, no treatment is required. But in case of severe thalassemia, blood transfusion is required. Blood transfusion is given with iron chelating agents to trap excess iron, because this excess iron may lead to hemosiderosis and hemochromatosis. In case of hydrops fetalis, intrauterine transfusions are required and bone marrow transplant is required, because otherwise these individuals cannot survive. So this is all about alpha thalassemia. In our next video, we will cover beta thalassemia.